Good morning, everybody. This is Kurt H. TheLazyFarmer, and this is a recorded version of Run8 Train Simulator. Last week, I didn't get a chance to actually do a. Let me go ahead and do that. Didn't even get a chance to really even get something going because I'm just busy, just absolutely busy. And we're in the final days of school, and then we go into our summer break. And this is now a time where we are focusing on really trying to get a lot of the seniors. I don't know. Well, trying to get the seniors out the door, get them to graduate, get them graduated. But I was being hesitant there because I was going to make a comment on the state of education, and it's not, and it's about the seniors, about the thought process of today's youth. But I'm going to let it go. So anyway, oh, what a mess. Oh, okay. So anyway, this is something different. This is Mohawk and Selkirk, the other CSX, and this was actually other than NorCal, this was my first server. And I haven't been here for like ever, so I'm kind of looking around. I'm hovering over the Dewitt Yard right now, trying to find something to do. I just wanted to see how bad DeWitt is. I am running over here on this one. I'm running the depot configs. I'm also running, what is it? I call them Brad's overpopulated, but no, it's a very populated files. I wanted to see what was on here, if I had room for another train, which I do, because I've got something down in Selkirk. So that's not the inbound, that's the runner track for sorting into these. This doesn't belong here, but this is ready to go out to Chicago. This actually needs to get moved over. Well, intermodal doesn't really belong here. So I guess I'm going to move these out and put these over where they belong, which is, it's been worked. I think I'm just going to see if I can get some local power on that, double that up, and let's get that out of here. Basically, this map runs east-west, and there is a couple of south runners, or south, trains that head south, but pretty much it is an east-west map. Let's see, go in here. So, but yeah, it runs east-west. This would be the Selkirk, which, well, the yard I'm over was over DeWitt, which is right in this area right here. But you can see it is west-east, so anything from DeWitt that string of cars needs to go to Chicago. So that would be west of this location, so exits off the map here. And it is only two DLCs, the Selkirk DLC and then the Mohawk DLC. And that's all there is on this map. But I will tell you that as long as you have the base game, if you buy the base game and then the Selkirk map or Selkirk DLC, that's enough. There's a ton of things to do just on the Selkirk side. But if you wanted to get the entire complete thing, like me, I'm a completionist, I had to get both. So anyway, still goes east-west. The eastern side of the map is here at Selkirk. That's your classification yard, and then it would go, if anything needs to go south, it would come out of, well, Selkirk is the Selkirk classification yard is actually right in this area here, And if it needed to go south, it goes out through the river sub. If it needs to continue east, it goes out through the Berkshire sub, or it even could cross over and go out through the Hudson, which continues off east. But everything else would go out south. Would go out through the river sub. So primarily the river sub right here to Oak Island, New Jersey. This is going to be your southern exit to the map. To the eastern exit is here to the Hudson, and then, like I said, the western exit is off of this side here. So anyway, very easy map, and also too, there is a operations guide, which is very good. So that is available when you come in to run this server. So not too bad. I'm working on, well, what I'm working on for, for the Southeast server, the matrix that we have for that, which is, all the locals and all the road trains and everything, that's going to be set up for this side as well too. So other than that, it's a very easy map. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go get some power from over here. I'm going to squeeze by. I'm just going to go down, grab, WOR. I need to look at these too. I think I just need to get this stuff out of here. But I can get this one and this basically get these two strings out of here. And the reason I want to do that is because these are your inbound tracks. Well, these two right here and here, I want to clear those out because I have a lot of cars down in Selkirk, and we're going to take a look at that, but we're just going to get these going. So I'm going to grab, let's get some power over here. And I'm thinking these two right here should be enough for Dewitt Road power. We're going to get this out of here. Let's fire these up. Okay, I need to pull up which is the, in fact, I'm pulling up the operations guide right now because I need to pull up and find out what the proper tag is for that road train. So bear with me. What do we got going on here? Mr. Clark. Okay. Anyway, we'll go do this, and then I need to... Oh, wrong channel. Still working on my first cup of coffee, so I'm actually kind of dragging. I am very... Oh, and update. I know some of you have been asking how are things going. Update. I have a doctor's appointment this week. That's the other thing that's been keeping me away. Really, my playtime on the computer for Run8 or anything else has been kind of limited, just because of the knee injury. It's really bad. It's getting hard to like sit and for any length of time walking on it, and I do a lot of walking. By the end of the day, it's just pain. So need to find out what's going on there. Oh, there's what I'm looking for, right in front of my face. Okay, let me scroll down here. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. Just bear with me here. And here we go. I need to go to Chicago. Q367. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to re-tag that. Just Q367. Did I see that right? Double check here. Yep, 367, Q367. Okay. Dash 11. There we go. Oops. Alright, there we go. And get on the ground. Alright, let's get back into... Get back on the ground here. Gotta flip a couple of switches. Run down the gauge as a train is coming. Yep, that's what gets you fired. Alright. Okay, we're just gonna go grab those intermodal. We're gonna get them out here. I'm gonna at least get them to where they get onto the main line. Then I'm gonna cut them loose, and that'll get them out of there. And then I can go down to Selkirk, and I'm gonna take a look at what I've got to do down there. And I have a lot to do. Get on the ground, flip that switch. Not gonna do anything. It's just gonna act like a spring-loaded switch, but it's a good habit to get into. All right. We're gonna do a little jog here. We're gonna go here, gonna go up, cross back over, and then we'll go down. Get those intermodals and get them out of here. All right, let me get to over here while that's moving. Yeah, and unfortunately, I got things to do today because I got up early today. It is just now 6 o'clock my time. Oh, that's moving a little bit fast. So it's only 10 miles an hour in the yard. It was 18 miles an hour. Somebody give me a write up. Anyway, I was going to say I got up early in the morning. I've got to get this recorded and then get it uploaded for immediate release because I got things I got to do today. And then on top of that, get ready for, we have a huge track meet at work this week. And so it's getting ready for that. And just in general, get things, just get things done. I feel like I'm behind on a lot of stuff, which I probably am. All right, there we go. Yeah, let's get this backed up. Okay, and yeah, I know that we on another server we are basically outbound intermodals are over there. It's not here. This is I don't know why this got stored here, other than I think that this is. So where is that other car? Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted here because oh, there it is. I think it's. Let's go free fly here for a minute. That's the Chicago one. And that's the other one. Okay, so that's what I thought. All right. Uh, all right, let's go ahead and get this down here. Go reverse, go grab those. We'll pull them out. We're going to double up. Grab the ones down here for Chicago, double up with this one, and then out the door we're going. Oh good, the dogs next door are fighting again. Awesome. Okay, here we go. There we go. Let's keep moving back. Sorry, I'm chatting in Discord right now. Doing a good job keeping it under 10 miles an hour. And let's see. I need to keep an eye on time too. So I'm putting this out there also for you guys. Let me know, ask questions about this. I'm going to tell you, it's, what can I say? It's one of the original, this is one of the original maps other than the Southeast, I think, well, Southwest, which we know, is a base game and where it all started. I believe this after the beginning of the southeast, or maybe this one might have been before the southeast. I'm not sure, but this is the other CSX. Okay. Oops. All right. So yeah, this. So if you're a CSX fan, you should look at this one. Okay. So yeah, this has been sitting here since the server restart and everything. That's how you can tell because nothing's connected. Um, so we're just going to do the F7 cheat. Everything is now connected and aired up. So now we're just going to gently pull forward. Now I'm going to cross. I should do it. Go this way, this way, this way, and down here, then on the ground. And that is how you cross over. You don't walk in front of the train. You just, that safety. But here at the TheLazyFarmer Railroad, safety last. What's our motto? Investors first, cargo second, safety last. All right, we're going to pull forward here. Oh, let's come off the brakes there. Excuse me a second. I'm going to mute as I cough up my lungs. All right, I'm back. That's been the other issue, man. Just, oh my gosh, pollen's been so bad. So, here's what I have to say about this. Pollen's real bad, which means in this area it's mostly almonds where I live. So if you like blue diamond almonds, they come from right here. And with the pollen count being as high as it is, that tells me that all the almond trees are extremely productive. When I say productive, producing a lot of blossoms and bloom, all that kind of, they're in bloom and everything. So normally, yeah, it's bad, but it is way worse than it's been for a few years. So what does that mean? Well, that means that the harvest this year, unless something comes along like a major storm to destroy the trees, the harvest this year is going to be massive. And so, well, are we going to see a reduction in price at Blue Diamond? Probably not. Why would we do that? Because, a bumper crop just means more profit. So come on. Anyway, I'm not against profit, but I mean, if you can lower the price, especially with what everything's going on, and I don't want to get on my political soapbox because this is not about politics, but just it would be nice to see some lower prices. But we'll see what happens anyway. So, yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now that this crop, well, like I said, almonds are from around here. Pistachios are from around here as well, too. So we're going to be seeing good crop of just a bumper crop. So I know there's some places I can go here locally. I can go right to Blue Diamond, as a matter of fact, at the roasting plant, which is not that far away, and go buy them, just buy the almonds right as they're coming out of the roasters. I'm hungry for almonds and pistachios. I better shut up. So I looked before this. Order Builder, as of this recording, no updates for Order Builder, which I'm finding a bit disappointing. Let's go ahead and start the countdown on this. And I get it. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a bit disappointing because this is not everything that's being made for these little utilities and everything. They're not being produced by any kind of a software company. These are being done by individuals. They have lives too. Just as I've been busy, they get busy. So I get it, but still, our order builder, Yards would be nice to see. Yards has got some stuff for the southeast and southwest. So nothing, Yards cannot be used for Mohawk and Selkirk right now because it hasn't been produced. Here's the switch that I want right here. All right, let's come off the throttle because we're about 1 mile over. 1 mile is okay. I mean, 10 miles an hour in the yard, you can get to be, honestly, in real world, you can do about 1 mile over, and you're not going to get in trouble when it happens. You can't be that precise. Only in a video game can you be that precise. Now I can do something like hit slow speed and give it a notch, and then I just set it for 9.9 miles an hour, but I need to actually come off the throttle because the end of the train's right there, and then I got to back up and double into this other cut of cars for Chicago, and we're going to get this out of here. And then we're going to go down to Selkirk, show you guys the Selkirk Classification Yard and what's going on down in that area. And that, I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't been on this server in like a long time. And I was on there the other day. There is a ton of work to be done. Lots of work to be done. So, it's interesting. It seems like a lot of people have been gravitating toward the Southeast server. That's all well and good. I just kind of want to make people aware that this server, I mean, I do have the Mohawk and Selkirk. In fact, you'll hear me mention Mosel. In fact, the Discord that you need to get to is the TLF, which stands for the Lazy Farmer, of course. But I did have to explain that to somebody, what TLF stood for. And I understand. I mean, some things are not obvious, but that's okay. All right, let's go in reverse here. But the TLF Mosel, that's the Discord channel and the access to the server, all the information, and the bot use, password bot and everything is tied on that particular Discord server. All right, go ahead and back it up. I want to come off a slow speed. And then once I have these doubled up, we're going to start heading out. We'll get them off and up to the next light. There should be a light where it exits the yard, and that's where I'll turn it over to the AI. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Confused myself. There we go. Alright, we'll come back at about 5 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and get some auto brake on there, come off of that, because it'll propagate through the cars and it'll still start slowing it down. I'm under 5 miles an hour, which is where I want to be. I like to be actually between 2 and 3 miles an hour, but as long as I'm under 5 miles an hour, I'm okay. And under 3 miles an hour, I'm happy. Oh, I was for about a minute. Alright, we're going to hit a little bit of auto brake. F7. Let's bleed off the thing, and we'll hit the independent brake to hold the train. And go to the end. Come down here. Close that. Attach that. Open that up. Alright. And then we go to the front of the train. Here we are. And like everything else, I like to ride on this. And honestly, the reason I like to ride on the steps, if I go inside the cab, I have to hear the alerter. The alerter is something you cannot turn off. I was asked the other day, can you turn that off? No, you cannot. You can adjust how often it goes off, but you cannot turn that off, and that really isn't something that you want to turn off. But the only way to get to the point where you don't have to listen to it is to ride on the front steps or hover over the train externally. Just don't be in the cab. All right, let's go ahead and set some. Get these out of here, and then we'll go down. That one, let's set this one right, back right. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking. The one thing about this map is that during the wintertime, snow in Dewitt gets so bad you cannot see the switches. I mean, it gets so thick you can't see them. But I was just thinking that in the Run8 Enhancement Discord channel, let's get some. There we go. Turn the ditch lights on. In the Run8 Enhancement Discord channel, there was something about, and I have to go back and be 100% sure on this, but I think that there was something about so basically like an enhancement to get rid of the snow in Southern California. But the way the enhancements work, I can't see why you can't put that on this server as well. And those enhancements only run locally. They wouldn't run on the server. I guess I kind of misspoke. But why you can't do it on your local game to get rid of the snow during the winter months when normally there would be snow on the ground. But why they made it so deep? I mean, literally, if you run the snow and you wanted to see what position the switch is in, you have to go into free fly and go below the map to take a look to see where and look at it from underneath. All right, what is 1.6 horsepower per ton? That's not bad. I think minimum is like 1.5, so we're good. We're good. Okay, that's about what I was expecting. Let's give it a second notch here. Let's see, train HUD. Yep, there's my name. I got the right Q367-11. Short train, especially for an intermodal. Only 5,000 feet long. That's short. 5,600 tons. Yeah, that's a light train. But it's about, honestly, at this point here, it's not about being realistic. It's just getting things out of the way. Because I've got, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff, and I've got cars that need to come up here and get onto these tracks here where I'm taking these off of. And they're, yeah, quite honestly, it's for locals up in this area. The receiving yard, you saw that. The receiving yard, Selkirk, fairly full. Spent some time trying to get some of the cars that were going to distant locations out of there. I got one that was going to, where'd it go? Where was it going? I gotta think. It was actually heading to Montreal, Manessa, New York, and Buffalo. So that goes west from this all those three locations are west and north from this location. So it would go west on this particular map. And that was like almost a 10,000 foot train. Got it out of here, and I figured, hey, I accomplished something. Then I went back and looked, and you'll see it in just a minute when I get done with this. And we're going to AI this and get it out of here. But I just want to get 2 miles over the speed limit here, almost 3. Let's go ahead and slow down, come off the notch. But yeah, just like the amount of stuff, I can't even push stuff over the bowl, because most of what's sitting in the bowl right now are actually cars for the locals up here, and I don't want to send those. I don't want to. First of all, I don't want to classify them because I already have a string of cars that need to come up here for the locals, and if I do that, I'm going to load up this particular this yard with a bunch of cars that's going to take forever to work through. So there are pluses and minuses, and this is just my humble opinion. There are pluses and minuses to Brad's overpopulated file. If you just want to play local, a lot of people do. There's an awful lot of people that are nervous about playing on a server. First of all, I'm going to tell you, don't be nervous. Okay, come play on a server. It is fun, especially if you join something like our southeast server or the SRS, Southwest Rail Simulation Southwest server. You join a lot of people. It gives you somebody to talk to while you play. You can still do your own thing, but you got people to talk to and joke around with and have a good time. That's the number one thing. You're doing this with somebody else, so you're going to have a good time, or a better time. And I know that the biggest thing I get from people is I don't want to break anything. I'm very nervous about playing. I want to play on a server, but I'm very nervous because I don't want to break or crash the server. I want to tell you, don't worry about it. Okay? Thank you for that consideration, but don't worry about it. So far, nothing has happened that has caused the server to crash. Well, that's not true, and there's a different thing there. I can effectively say that nobody has done anything that caused the server to crash. People have caused trains to disappear. That happens. I did it not once, not twice, but 3 times on one train because I was trying to load up a yard on the southeast server, or trying to squeeze cars in, and that's my bad. I should have just. We got downhill. We are getting downhill because I just noticed that I was picking up speed, and I'm not even I'm off the throttle here. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if you're going to do anything, just pay attention to what you're doing. At the Southwest, you know what? If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. So in the Southeast, you make a mistake, don't worry about it. We're a training server. We're here to help you guys get better. Okay, that's what it is. We're here to help you guys get better. Are we a stickler on you have to operate a railroad prototypically? No, we're not. I mean, ultimately, this is a simulator. All we're moving are pixels. Let's have some fun. That's the biggest thing. Let's have fun. Okay, and so, but the biggest thing I'm going to tell you is and this just applies to railroading in general, it's never fast. Okay, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. So if you come on and you're like, well, I can't get my train to move, I'm trying to get to 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. You know what? Then honestly, yeah, do that on your own. Do that on your local. Don't do that. Don't come on the server and do it. The biggest thing that I'm going to complain about is if you're doing something that is ruining the fun for anybody else on on any of the servers. And if anybody's doing something that is, interrupting your fun, on my servers, I need to know about it. Okay, and we've got some fantastic yard masters. They need to know about it. And then I guess the biggest thing is that I'm going to tell you that. Let me get on the ground here and check my switches here as we're getting ready to exit the yard. I guess the biggest thing I want to tell you is if you are not sure, okay, ask. Um, if you, I always live by the phone, especially for scuba diving. And I learned this when I was, you know, learning how to scuba dive, oh, so many decades ago. Can't believe I'm saying decades on that. Wow. Um, but okay, which one do I'm going to bring this train. I got to come back. I can't remember which track I actually need to be on to get out of the yard. Let's go free fly here real quick. So far this looks good. I do have that dwarf light right there. So I do have one here too. I'm going to go. All right, so I need to get back on the ground. All right, that switch is right. This switch right here. Let's get closer. There we go. All right. Okay, so and I forgot what I was going to say, where I was going to go with that. You guys can go back and obviously, play it back. Here's where you're talking, farmer. Well, I just the train of my thoughts just left its track. I got to derail. Oh no, it's a mental derail. But bottom line, the point I was trying to make is just come on, push your pixels around. Let's have some fun. And honestly, the more the merrier. And if you're coming on and want to hang out with the Lazy Farmer, I appreciate that. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's a very busy time for me. So come on, I will jump in. I do jump in and say hi to people if I see that and that's what I was doing earlier. I saw some people that were on, so I was messaging them. Let's get a second notch in here. And then we're going to cross over. We're going to go up to that particular dwarf light, and at that point I'm going to AI this train, and pretty much is easy at this point because the routing is straight to the end of the track. And one more train, one more string of cars that I'll get off this server. Now, I was joking before, is there anything that you could do to break that? No, there's not. I mean, we did have an issue on the southeast server when it was something hiccuped with the save game files, and they kind of doubled up on top of each other. So you might run into that. It's hopefully it's not that often. We haven't had that issue for a few months, and I think we've resolved that from happening. But if you'll see that if you got a training, you're going to back in. Say I was going to back into these, and deliver these cars here, and then all of a sudden they disappear and the server would crash. Well, that's because there were actually two trains, one exactly the same, occupying the same space on the map. And when you go to couple into it, the server doesn't know what to do. Which train? It's like it panics. Oh no, you're coupling into two different trains. Which one at the same time? Which one do I do? Oh no, and it quits. So at that point there, I mean, my servers are set up to respawn, or restart automatically. So just give it a few seconds, and then the server will be back up, and you can join it again. But then you got to look at what you were doing and ask the question, okay, what was I doing? I was just trying to couple into these trains. Let me go back and look at these trains. Well, if you click on a car, and one of the clues is if you notice it's flashing, which car they don't do that. If it's flashing or it looks like only half the car maybe was highlighted when you clicked on it, that's a good indicator that you've got a cut of cars, two cuts of cars or three cuts of cars occupying the same space. All right, we're going to bring this train to a stop. I'm off the notches. I don't need no stinking notches. Probably a lot of train brake. About 14-pound reduction. Way too much, but yeah, I wanted to bring it to a stop. Okay, we're going to get on the ground here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to click this guy and go AI Recrew. They now have it. I no longer I don't even have to relinquish the train. They have it. You see Armando Itner and Augusto Ingles. In other words, AI, they've got the AI has the train. Let's go free fly. And Otto's already given them a light, so they're on their way to Chicago. All right, so that's done. Let's go down to Selkirk. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to click somewhere. I'm not going to click. I'm just going to hover on one of the tracks. I'm going to hover on the empty track here, number 5, inside the receiving yard, and I'm just going to hit the space bar, and that transports me. Here we go. We're in free fly mode, so let me get above. And this is something you're going to see too. Hey, there's no cars. Don't panic. Sometimes it takes a while for all the cars and everything to start populating. You can see here it's starting to populate in. Oh wow, okay. I'm looking at the car tags here. Selkirk Yard, which is where I'm at. This car goes to the Schenectady Yard, then it goes to Albany, and then it goes on to the B763 local, and then the industry is the RIS. DEW is DeWitt, so I got cars in here that need to be sorted. Those go to DeWitt. MES is Manassa, New York. So that might be a train that I could actually hear. Cincinnati. This might be a string that I could start pushing over the hump. But yeah, now that we're hovering here, pretty much everything should be populated. And that's normal. No matter what server, you're going to see that. All right, what do I got going down here? This is going to Cleveland. Let's see. You can look at the map from the depot. Let me see if I can show you guys. I didn't have this pre-set up. So let me grab depot. And maps. And Selkirk. Here we go. And get that up. Okay, and let me go to OBS. Can I show it? Let's see. I might have to hit the properties on this one. Sure looks like it. There we go. All right, so there's the map. This is the Selkirk Yard. You can see, you got the bowls right here, which is what we're looking at over here. But I wanted to point this out because there is a south departure yard. There's a north departure yard. Remember that this is east-west. You look at the bottom of the page down here. West is going to your left. East is heading toward your right. So you look at the compass rose. This would be to the north. This would be to the south. That's why it's called north departure yard. South departure yard doesn't mean that trains go off in those directions. That was one of the biggest confusing points that I had when I first started playing Run8, is especially at the Barstow Yard. I'm looking at the depot maps. I'm going, oh, I need to make sure that all my trains are on that side. No, that's not what it means. But the point I do want to make out is you can see here that there's the length of the tracks. Okay, so pretty much, north departure yard track 2, we do not want to use that one. That is the fast freight lead. So basically that's the bypass. It goes around Selkirk and then keeps heading west. But everything on this side of the track is like 8,000, 9,000, 11,000 feet. So all depending on the train, that's where your long outbound trains, I would highly recommend that you put them over here on the north departure yard. South departure yard might be for shorter trains that are heading south, or for maybe for trains that go between Selkirk and Dewitt. That would be a good place to put those. Um, or if you're going to make up a long train, no more than 4,000 feet per track, and then you just double them up and send them out. But if you want to create your long train, do it on the north departure yard. So if we're looking at, if we're looking at the Run8 here now, so giving you a perspective, these are the trim leads down here, the bulls right there. That's the north departure yard right up in here, and then the south departure yard is over here. So just to give you a kind of a point of reference, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead, let me turn that off, get that out of the way. All right, so let's see, what do we got? I got Cleveland and I got Cincinnati, so those are going to be going to Ohio. I do have Chicago here as well too. So do I want to do that? Let me see. Looking at, well, Cleveland's on the Q363. Chicago's on the 367. We just had I can use the same tag. Just because I use a tag on that train out of DeWitt doesn't mean I can't use the tag down here. Might be a different tag in real life, but for terms of Run8 and how Auto will look at trains, I want Auto to be able to route my trains correctly. Use the same tag over and over again. I mean, there are things you can do. I'm not going to get into that on this one, but there are definitely some things you can do. For the Cleveland train, which is this right over here, there's actually 3 different tags I can use. I could use the 367, which is the Chicago, same as the Chicago tag, the Q561. Or the Q363. So I'm going to use the Q561 because with the 561 I can do Cleveland, Cincinnati, and then Louisville, Kentucky. But that's the other thing too. All I want to do is I want to get the cars off the map. Okay, so I could use any one of those tags as long as I know that the train I'm building is going to head west, which means that I'm going to be building a train over here. I'll be shoving cars in, filling in up over here up to 8,000 feet. I will be putting a locomotive on the end of the cars down at this end, facing in that direction, and give it the tag. I can give it, Q561, Q367, or Q363. Otto's going to do me a favor. He'll get that stuff off the map for me, and that's ultimately what I want to do. Is I want to move this stuff off the map. So I got Chicago here. Wait, what's that? Hang on. I just saw something. What is it? Oh, that says Selkirk. So Selkirk is where I'm at. It is ultimately going to Chicago. So okay, that's in the right spot. All right. So I could effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim. You can see this one I'm talking about, all the cars I got, the bowl's full before I can even start humping anything over. And then I've got, let's see. All right, these are going to, it says Selkirk West. These cars head west. That's how it's tagged on this particular map. So going to Selkirk Yard, it's going to go west. It's going to GUI is Guilderland. And then this would be a string of cars that get dropped on the B767 that runs between Selkirk and Rotterdam and back again. So these would get dropped at Guilderland on the way up. So you'd have a string of cars for Guilderland, and then you would have, let's see, do I have any here? I don't see anything. All right, these are kind of tagged a little. This is where we have to really pay attention to the tags, but this is MHWA interchange. That's out of DeWitt. Then we've got the Utica, North, New York, Southwest, I guess, whatever it is, or I'm not sure what NSW is, interchange, and then we've got more cars for DeWitt. So I got at least these three strings right here that need to go to DeWitt. MTR is not, I was thinking it was Metairie, but it's not. That's actually, MTR is Montreal. Here's Chicago, Buffalo. I'm just taking stock of what I got here. All right, AVO, that's it. So I could actually come in. There's not that many cars here on that AVO. I could grab AVO, this Cleveland, Cincinnati. Okay. I can grab all these. I got, especially this one right here. You can see it goes all the way back. So I got to grab this Cleveland. So I really need to empty a lot of this stuff out. Oh, that goes to the repair track. And then what's this one over here? OPY. I don't know what OPY is. Oh, no. Oh, Oak Point. There it is. So that's actually going to go out the Hudson line. It says no SD70s on the note on here. That's a Q701. Goes out the Hudson line. So that would, so this string of cars would actually go here. It'd be perfect to come over here to the, and here's OPY. I could actually fill, okay. So I got a plan. So I'm going to be doing some trimming now. And let me go grab my trim power down here. Oops, I clicked on a train somewhere. Relinquish it. All right, let's go grab that. We'll start these up. Get on the ground, and I'm going to look at my switch as well as we're warming up. Let's go this way. I do need to cross over. Okay, good. But I don't need this one yet. Flip them. Okay, let's go back into free flat mode. I'm going to go find that OPY. That would be that one there. Okay, go back on the ground. Yep, OPY, turn around. Let's go run back. Flip switches to make sure that we are all lined up. Here we go. So now these are, now this, the OPY are going off the Hudson line. So these are cars that once I have to bring a locomotive and stick them on this end facing in that direction, and Auto will route them out and get them off get those cars out of here. But yeah, the more cars I can get out of here, the better, and then I'll have room to work. And that's the biggest thing. And this is all from that, like I said, it's not a bad thing. He was very aggressive, and that's a good thing. I'm talking about he was Brad. Let's go ahead and set this back to normal. But Brad's overpopulated. Gives you a lot of, actually I'm in reverse, here we go. All right, off the handbrakes, let's go ahead and start coming back. And we'll get some slow speed on here right about 9 miles an hour. Let's get some lights on. I don't need ditch lights on, but I got to have some lights on because it is an indicator that, hey, this train is in operation. Somebody's in control of it. Whether that's remote control, in this case with me sitting on the ground, it'd be remote control. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip that switch back. And I'll flip this one back as well too. All right, so I can use that. We'll just come straight down here. Hey, get back here. Whoa, made myself dizzy. There we go. I don't know how I ended up with 3 trim sets down here. Oh, that's not a trim set. That's a switch. That's a yard. Okay, so that, because there are some locals. If we look at, where'd it go? Here we go. So if we look at the map again, we have the Selkirk Auto Terminal. So there's 2 auto terminals. One is in Guilderland, and the other one is here in Selkirk. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing like that up on the Mohawk. So there is a lot of work to be done on the Mohawk, but I'm saying you can just get by with the base game and the Selkirk DLC and just have a lot of fun down here on your virtual model railroad. So the top end yard right up in here, the red, tends to get used for the auto racks and for GE plastics. And then those cars would eventually make their way, out of the top end yard, get pushed back, then come out and come around on the west pigtail, and then backed into the receiving yard in order when these cars, or not the auto terminal, but the GE plastics would end up, those cars would end up back down here in the receiving yard to be classified out for their proper destination. The auto terminal is a little different. It does use the top end yard, but those cars would then eventually get pulled out, and there's a for excuse me a second. Oh, the almond trees are going to be good this year. Let's get on the ground. Alright, so but anyway, so they would end up getting pulled out, and it is actually for, let me turn this off again. Do I have it? Where is it? Something is not listed. Oh yeah, Columbus, Ohio. I keep wanting to say COL is Colorado, but no, it goes to Columbus, Ohio from out of here. And those cars come off, and they come off tagged. They tagged it weird. It's pot via COL. I don't care what pot is. It's COL is what I want. That's Columbus, Ohio. So any regular cars that I have going to Columbus, those auto racks are going to be tagged for Columbus, and it's the same thing whether it's the Selkirk Auto Terminal or the Guilderland Auto Terminal. They're all going to come back down here and go out to Columbus, and then from there, let them have it. So that's just a direction. Once again, that's going to go west. So it's build a train, go west. All right, let's go ahead and give this F7 cheat on this. And we're going to go into forward since we're facing that way. We're going to go pull this off. Bail off my brake cylinder was at 7 pounds. That's enough to really slow it down. Oh, excuse me again. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully I got rid of what was in my throat. So, Selkirk East C711 LEI. So yeah, this goes eastbound. And there's some industries off to the east. So, but, I mean, there's a lot of industries to work off the Selkirk DLC. I keep saying that. Just trust me. It's green. A little bit different look. Pretty solid as far as DLC's going. It's been. I know the guy who actually created it hasn't come back to it. Hasn't updated anything on there. I personally I don't expect any add-ons to it, but you never can tell. It could be a surprise. Order Builder can be used with this, so you can set up. Order Builder is set up though. If you're doing your own local, you can use Order Builder to create strings of trains. You can look at your industry list. From the industry list, you can figure out what locals operate out of this area, and then you can, with Order Builder, you can bring trains in. Let's see. I think I need to be on this track right over here because that's your main line over there. So I gotta come down here, and then we're gonna cross over. And we'll push back this way. And I'm looking at all my flags, everything along here. They're all green, all set to normal, which means I should not have any issues backing up. No excessive stretch on the couplers. Anything like that. Still coughing, man. All right, down to the ground. And let's go ahead and, so we got about almost an 1,800-foot string of cars here, or cut of cars, depending on who I talk to. I say string. Other people say no, it's a cut. It's two words that mean the exact same thing. Don't get hung up on it if you know what you're talking about. If you know what you mean and you're comfortable with it, I mean, you can. There's places you can go. You can websites you can look at and get railroad terminology, and each railroad has its own terminology for things, and each area for each railroad has its own terminology. So that's why I say don't get hung up on it. But I have a feeling that my next few, just because there's so much work to do here, my next few videos are probably going to be from Selkirk. I will be going down to Southwest Rail Simulations. You can DM me directly in either the TheLazyFarmer Discord or the make another cup of coffee for myself. TheLazyFarmer Discord or the TLF Mosel Discord. Either one of those, you can DM me directly. If you do go over to the Southwest Rail Simulations and you're looking to access their servers, DM me directly. Join their forums. Let me know you've done that. You've joined their forums. I can then, at that point, jump over and approve you. So if all you have is the base game, or all you're building is the Southwest Territories, yeah, join their service. They're good people. They're the same. Okay, let me go ahead. I got about 12 pounds. That's a little much. 10 pounds is usually enough. I should have started that braking because you can see how much I'm rolling. But especially, I'm going downhill too, 0.5% downhill, so it's going to take some time to stop that train. Well, actually, not that much. But 10 pounds is usually more than plenty enough to stop a train. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go back. Yeah, I should be like pre-line myself up, so I should be going right into, I believe I did. You know what? Let's get on the ground and run like Forrest Gump. I love that movie. I can't think of any one actor that has ever done that. And I'm sure there has been. I just can't think of any. But, you know, Tom Hanks 3 years in a row getting Best Actor. And it's so amazing because I remember that guy back, it was a Bosom Buddies, that old sitcom back in like the end of the 70s. I think it was him and Peter Scolari. Peter Scolari you never really see. I think he went to behind the scenes stuff where, you know, Tom Hanks stayed in front of the camera. We all know that. Well, there we go. So, but yeah, you know, it was Forrest Gump. Can't think of the was it Forrest Gump? There was another. Oh, I think Band of Brothers. Not Band of Brothers. Well, he was involved in Band of Brothers. Oh, it was the movie, not Band of Brothers. That was a series. And then I can't remember if he got Best Actor for Castaway. But yeah, no. And he's up around here where I guess he lives out somewhere out in this area. I know there was a friend of mine that was up in the Sacramento area. I actually ran into him. He was out grocery shopping. So I think he's got a house up here somewhere. They said he was a really nice guy. All right. Yeah, here comes a train. Let's do this. Cross over the tracks. Safety last. All right, let's get down, slow down. A little bit of auto brake to slow the whole train down. That's the biggest thing I want to tell you is that, you know what, you've got 3 different types of brakes. So you have auto brake, which I just use, and you can see that it takes a while for it to apply. It takes a while for it to release. You just got to consider that when you apply the brake. Independent brake is good if you're just going to hold the train, and there might be some question on whether you should do that with the independent brake, or obviously if it's just the locomotives themselves. All right, we're going to go hit F7 cheat, give air throughout that, release the hounds, release the brakes, and we're going to just start shoving this back. What's my length? Train HUD. So this is 3,300 feet. So these 2 strings of cars right here, these 2 cuts of cars are just about enough to where on the south side, and this is the south departure yard, it's going to pretty much fill up. I mean, the south departure yard track is about 4,000 feet. So I've got room for about another 700 feet of cars. You know what? That's enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to put a locomotive on the end of this and get it out of here. And I need to send it. What did I say? OPY goes 0 points. So yeah, I need to push it back and then put a locomotive on the end on this end here, and then I'll just release it. And the biggest thing is now, if I'm going to release it from the south departure yard, I'm not going to AI it right from the departure yard. Like I did up in Dewitt, I'm going to take it down and at least get it to the closest light and bring it to a stop, and then turn it over to the AI. That way, I want to get it toward a switch that Otto can flip, that he can control. This may not necessarily, if I release it from here, he can't control the manual switches. So I want to make sure that I get him at least to the light, get it pointed in the right direction, and then I turn it over to Otto at that point. And that's where the map comes in handy. You're just like, okay, I'm coming out of the south departure yard. If I'm looking at, well, I'll go back to the map here. So this is basically going to be where I'm going on to here is track number 1, or South 1, S1, which is 4,200 feet. Almost 4. Actually, if I round up, we're going to round down to be safe to have room for it. So 4,200 feet. And then from there, it's I can go pretty much straight forward to the next light, and then I will when you get to the light, there should be an automatic switch there that auto can handle, and I will, so that's the best practice on that. So 2.9 horsepower per ton with the 2 locomotives I have. I probably could get by with just one, like an SD45 or something like that, and just send it. And that's just cars I don't have on my map. If you want to build a longer train, you can use the South Departure Yard and double up cars, and I could even take a look and see what else is over here that might be going in that direction. But for me and how I operate, I just want the cars off my railroad. I want them gone. I'm not hung up with, extra long cars, extra long, extra heavy. That's just not how I play. I want to get things moved. I want to get them off, on the map and off the map into the industries. Let's go ahead and hit the handbrakes. Auto brake was applied. 3 handbrakes should be enough. All right, release the automatic brake. Give me a little bit. I got some stretch force on that coupler. Release that. It has turned white, so we're going to go ahead and unlock, and that is closed on the locomotive side, so we can pull away. All right. So independent brake, I'll bring that up, bring that to a stop. Go free fly again. So this actually goes to Waycross. That would actually go south as well too. How are we doing on the Waycross? See what I'm thinking already. I could grab that, put it on this. See what? Let me take a look and see. Drill 3, drill 2. So, okay, so Waycross cars are going to go out the river sub. But OPI goes out the Hudson line. So that goes straight east. Where if I want to go south, so SKY is South Kearney, New Jersey. So I could effectively put anything for Richmond, RIC, SKY, South Kearney, New Jersey, and Waycross all in one train, the Q409. So that's what I could be looking at. So OPY is a Q701. So I'm gonna go find me some power. Let me get this out of the way. I'm gonna get that string out of here. All right. Getting that move. Yeah, okay, let's get on the ground. And to get out of the way, I'm going to pull back here, and I'm just going to go up here. And then we'll go find some power and bring it down and figure out how to get it down to here. But I'm going to just grab one, like if I can find like an SD45 preferably. Or if I need to, one like ES4400. For some reason on here they have it tagged as no SD70s. I don't know why. But you know what? It's your model railroad. If you want to run an SD70, run an SD70. It is your model railroad. There's probably some realism as to why. Might be something about that particular locomotive on those tracks. I mean, somewhere in the real world, in the prototypical world, there's probably a reason for it. You know what that reason is? I don't know. Does it matter to me? No. I'm going to go find something that's available. I can get by with probably one locomotive, and I can just, like I said, it's just about getting that. You know, I got a glut of power. I've got a lot of cars. The more stuff I can get off the server, the better. And on a virtual model railroad, that would almost be the equivalent of sending. I want it out of the way. I want to get it out of the yard. I'm going to send it to a holding track. Well, on a model railroad, your car is coming back. So eventually, at some point, it'll come back and build a train and go. We don't do that here on Run8 because we have the order builder. We bring the cars on through the order builder, and then typically what I do is I will spawn a train somewhere off the map at one of the, either come in from the Hudson line or come down, or more likely coming in from Chicago, and from any points west, and it'll come through the Mohawk DLC, come in through the Selkirk DLC into the receiving yard. It could effectively come the other way as well too. But the big thing is to have the cars come to Selkirk, get sorted, and then go out to their respective destination, whether it's going to be going back off the map or going to an industry to get worked, and then becomes a car that's going to eventually go off the map. So how do I want to do this? Okay, I'm going to get this pretty much. I'm going to go set this into neutral, hit some independent brake. So right there, brake cylinder, 10 pounds on the brake cylinders. On the independent brake is, as you can see, is more than plenty, especially at these speeds. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these run, but I am going to tighten them down. So I'm going to isolate. No real reason to do that other than it's kind of prototypical. And then I can click on one of them and just go here, click relinquish there. I've heard people in some of the things, don't do this one because it's too close to delete. As long as you know you're not clicking on the delete button, it doesn't matter. You just want to click relinquish. Of course, the other place to do that is right up here. It's grayed out right now. So they say that's a safer place to do it. What I'm going to tell you is just pay attention to what you're doing. And then if you do delete it, you can go in and respawn a couple of new locomotives. I mean, that's no big deal. Now, what we're actually in the process of trying to do, and I think I've got the coding right, is on the servers, we're going to be looking at the unit numbers on the locomotives. And we're going to start rotating out based on usage, how many hours are on each locomotive. So when that goes into play, it's going to be up to you that when you take a pair of locomotives, you're going to say, yes, I'm using these locomotives, and when you're done, you're going to say, I'm relinquish these locomotives on the matrix. It keeps track of the amount of hours, and then when there's 90 days, I'll just put down, I'm using arbitrary numbers, I'm not going full prototypical, but if there's 90 days worth of runtime on a locomotive, then that locomotive's got to go in for service, and it will be literally 30 days where that locomotive will sit on the shop tracks. And then once it's done, that'll symbolize going through servicing, oil change, all that good stuff, any kind of an upgrade, electronic servicing, whatever might need to be done, and then it'll be ready to go back out on the road and be used again, whether it's a local, your trim, whatever it might be, and that's something that's in the works. It's still being developed, but I do think I finally figured out the coding on that to where we can get that to work. But it is going to rely on you, the operator, to do things right on the matrix. to make that to help us facilitate that. All right, let's go. I'm gonna leave those run. Let's go free fly, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to show you how you can cheat a little bit. And so we do have, like you said, you see all the power I have right here. I got a ton of power. I just need one locomotive. Don't want that. What is that doing here? SD40. You know what? I don't know why that's sitting there. It's ugly. Well, it's not ugly, but it doesn't, I don't know. I'm gonna do it. Close that, open that. And now I don't want this entire string to fire up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit where it says stop right there. Start it. And single middle. Okay, it's running. It kicked in. We're going to go ahead and hit run on that. I'm going to take off the handbrakes. We're not even messing with this. Oops. Then I'm going to come here, look at this. We're going to be closed. It is disconnected. The connection between this locomotive and that locomotive is already disconnected. Open the coupler up. And then one last thing I want to do is I'm going to hold down the F11 key and click on that to get inside on the side. And these switches right here, we're going to flip those up. Go back to the ground. And we should be good to just pull this locomotive forward. And there it goes. And that's how we get it to go without firing all these up and getting those involved. So we're just going to use this one here. And that way, this will actually disappear when it comes to the end of the track and go off the line. So what I say this was going to be, this was going to be the Q701. Okay, so what I want to do then is I want to go here and let me get the keyboard. We're going to go ahead and do capital Q 701-11. All right, so that's the symbol. All right, let's see if we can find our way over to that train. We're going to get that out of here. Slow speed. Right at about 9.5, right there, 9.6, that'll work. All right, let me see where I want to go from here. I think I need to go, I think I have no choice. I think I have to go around in that way. Let me go free fly and see, or I could look at the map. How about that? Your ready tracks are right there. So if I go this way, yeah, I want to go down this way. Come down here. Oh, hello. That's the other thing too. That's one thing that's missing on the southeast is a lot. We got some eye candy going through on the southeast, but there's a lot on this map. Okay. So I think I got it. We're going to come down this one. Yep. Get on the ground. All right. So we will. Yep, that's right. So let's get on this side over here. Uses one locomotive. Get rid of the foreign power, or in this case, the least power. You know. Now I was thinking about cheating and just basically cutting this out and copy and pasting it down, but I think I'm going to run it down there instead. And I think at that point, how much time we got? Yeah, that should be about the end. I'm looking at the time here, kind of lost track of time. Yeah, I got about enough time left. It's not going to be a full 2-hour video, but I think I got enough time to get this done, and then I got to go jump in the shower and get out of here. So, hear that. I had to do something, so I had to do a recording for you guys, and then I'm being honest with you, doing during the week, it's like, oh, I'll do a recording, but when I get home, and by the time I get home, it's like, no, I'm getting off my knee, taking some pain pills, put my knee up, put the ice pack on it. Yeah, and then I get up. Well, during the week I get up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh crap! What's going on here? Let's bring this to a stop. Nope, I want to go straight. There we go. Never mind. That's perfect. Okay, keep going. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I'm going to jump on the ground here because this actually needs to be set back to normal. Alright, let's run down here. There we go. Standing up on the... Alright. I need a thumbnail. I think I'm going to use that one. I don't know why I want to use that one, but I'm going to use that one as a thumbnail. Archer Daniels Midland. Not sure what he's got. I gotta clear these out. I got a lot of trains to send out. I think that's what I really need to do. Is I need my how-to list. I need to clear out the north and south departure yards. Get them so I can start pulling cars out of the bowl. So I can start pushing cars over the hump. And I want to use the south departure yard for basically for trains that need to go up to Dewitt. So I can go get those to the Dewitt Yard. That'll be that's a manual haul too. You can't, because you can AI, and I can change a light up there to where the train will divert into, or not into, but toward Dewitt, but it won't stop in Dewitt. So because of that, you've got to kind of go and take it up. And so Selkirk West to Paramount CCP, that's what these are. This is part of this will all be part of the B767. That's a long enough train. I can probably just take that up there myself and then take it just a direct train up there. Let's see, that would go up here. I believe it's in the Rotterdam Junction, goes off this way, and then there's a whole industry that you don't see on the dispatch screen, but there's a whole series of industries up here, and there's an interchange track, and with the PAR railroad, and that's what we're seeing here, PAR interchange. There's industries, so this is long enough that could be a train into itself, and I can give it to B767 and run it up and that's a manual haul up there too. That is not AI eligible. So if you're looking for a road train, there's a road train right there, and it's long enough. And then once you get it up there, you can work the industries, and then you can bring that 767 back into the receiving yard. But now I'm back to a full receiving yard. How do I empty the receiving yard? I got to push the cars over the hump. Well, I got to have a clear bowl. I got to have, which means I have to have a clear. It's ugly. Lots of work to do. So So 9.6 miles an hour. Yep, this is normal. This is normal speed. Seems kind of slow, but this is. I get the fish. Look at how it stretches out. There we go. Now it looks like I'm moving, but look how stretched out the cars are. So that's why I kind of zoom in a little bit. It makes things look a little bit normal, but I am moving. Going downhill, so I'm picking up speed. So let's come off the notch here. Alright, there's my trim power, so I need to get around those. Hook up to those OPY, then we're going to pull those out up to the lights, which are down there. Then I'm going to turn it over to auto and let auto figure it out. Oh, he's at a crew change. That's that. Yeah, okay. Doing a crew change. All right, let's get on the ground here. I'm going to run down. Running the gauge. Nope, don't do that. Flip that switch. And we're going to come down here. I got all kinds of room. Looks like he's starting to move. All right, and flip that one as I stand in the gauge. Okay, we're good. Now we're just going to come back. Come back here, go up, and get over onto here so we can go grab. Gotta get on this track here so we can go grab those cars, and then we're going to get back over. And then somehow get down. All right. Flip that to normal. Reverse that one. Set that one back to normal. And we'll reverse that one. And then as we back up, we'll reverse this one and go that way. Okay. So let's go forward. Oh, for you guys. Get the bell going too. I haven't used. Like I said, my virtual model railroad, do what you want, man. Hardly ever use the bell when I'm playing. I'm that casual. But there are servers out there that if you're not using the bell, if you're not using the horn, you know, it'll be enough to get you kicked. So know your servers. But here it's a casual. It's just pixels. Alright. Flip that switch. Alright, let's come back. And while he's reversing, I want to flip that switch. Put that back to normal. I got something coming at me right there. Oh, he's moving over. Okay. Whew. As I'm standing in the gauge looking at a train coming right at me. It's kind of like my life, you know. I see light at the end of the tunnel. No, it's a freight train coming at you. Alright, we're going to set that to normal. And we come all the way back here. And then we're going to go right into those cars. And we're good to go. Now we just got to wait for this guy. And he's going to probably do a crew change as well, too. Huh. Union Pacific lead. Wow. Got a total UP train. What is up with that? What's Union Pacific doing on our tracks? That's literally the same train that just went through. So back to back. Interesting. I don't know why it would okay, why it would spawn like that, but oh well. Turn that bell off. So at least in this we got one full track in the bowl pulled. Moderately sized train going to Oak Island, which is not, it's off the map, so it's okay. Let's go to the ground here. What is 1.4 horsepower per ton with one locomotive? Yeah, see, it wasn't that much. I knew it wasn't going to be that bad. All right, so on there. It's only 3,200 feet, 2,000 tons, so it's not much of a train, so we're okay. All right, release the handbrakes. And now we're going to look at, if I'm coming out, actually I take it back, I think that this is, no, that would be, well, the way the map's drawn is kind of backwards, because that's the main line over there, which that would be So that would make this S1, but the way it's drawn, it's kind of, I don't know, when the map is drawn, that's right. As long as we just follow this and go straight, we should go right to a light. Yeah, Hudson Yard. Okay. Actually, I think I just put the locomotive on the wrong side. I did. No, I take it back. No, I didn't. I did it on the right side. Okay, just the map's got me turned around. Yeah, no, I'm looking at this is the drill team. That's where I want to go. And then this will send me out. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, I'm doing the right thing. I had it right. Just the map was from my perspective on the server, the map had me turned around. So I'm going in the right direction. Okay, cool. Okay, we got some lights up here, so I'm going to stop at those lights. I'll stop short of the lights, and then I will AI this, and that'll bring this to the end of this particular recording and stream. This is in lieu of the live stream that I would do normally on a Saturday. This is currently Sunday, the 11th of May. And I'll get done with this. I'm going to go stretch out and go put my knee back on ice again. I'm like, what's that alarm? I hear an alarm going off. I realize I got my window open. So it sounds like a cat jumped on somebody's car. So many cats. I'm going to have to start. I am honestly going to start. We'll start trapping them and calling. What we call them out here is a new beginnings. I think it is. They house people, house cats with people that want to have cats. Well, we got a proverbial cat lady around here. I swear to God, I counted one day in their front yard no less than 12 cats. You know, and middle of the night. I mean, especially summer now. It's like at nighttime. It's nice. I open my window up. Yeah, it seems like they decide they want to fight right underneath my window. And if they don't fight among themselves, they're fighting with the raccoons in the area. So it's like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to start trapping these animals and get them out of here. I know it sounds heartless, but you know what? In her latter years, you know, may God rest her soul, my mom was that. That's all she had. You know, but if you can't take care of them, and if they're a nuisance for your neighbors, you know, that's not a good thing. Otto's got that one. We're going to pull up just shy of this light right here. Okay, I got 10 pounds. I'm looking at the emergency reservoir here. 10-pound reduction. On the brake pipe, 10-pound reduction. More than enough to stop it. Okay, on the ground. Click that. AI. Now instantly relinquished, and it's turned over to Auto. Let's see if Auto will give him a light. Get him out of here. Okay. He's pulling forward. What, are you not close enough to that light, dude? Hmm. You got somebody coming through. Alright, you're pulling up. What are you going to do? Let me get on the other side. See if auto gives him a light. I mean, I could give him a light, but it looks like there's something coming. South departure, I think he's sitting right here. Or actually he's sitting right here, and then this one is coming through, so auto's going to make him wait as he heads out. And I'm looking, I believe, Shodak sub. Auto's probably going to route him out this way to the Shodak sub and come up this way and go out that way. So we're just waiting for the K682 to go through. So he's being held here. So I'm not going to wait for that to happen. So that will bring this episode to a close. So once again, I mean, if you like the content, please do me a favor, give me a like, and subscribe, and then also get the notifications so that way you guys can know when I'm going to actually stream next. But mostly it's that like and the subscribe that helps the analytics. My whole thing about the stream is to try, or my videos and my live streams is to get information out about Run8, how easy it is, also about the server. So if you want to come play with somebody, we don't do checkout rides. I'm going to put that out there. We don't do checkout rides. We're giving you guys, the opportunity to play and don't have to worry about hyper realism. We're just moving pixels. That's all it is. We're just moving pixels. But we've got a good group of yard masters. We're here to help. You can also DM me directly on either the TheLazyFarmer Discord or the Mohawk and Selkirk. So the TheLazyFarmer Discord, the link is in the description. When you get onto that Discord, the link to the Mohawk and Selkirk Discord is in the TheLazyFarmer Discord channel. So, and then once you're over there, that's where all the servers are located. Sorry to have to do that to you, but it's a good way to filter people out. Anyway, so this has been a pleasure. It's been real. It's been real fun. I love this stuff. I will catch you next week. I've got 3 weeks. 3 weeks of school left, and then I'm on a 2-month paid vacation. How do you love that? And so at that point, you're probably going to see a lot of extra content. I'm going to be doing a lot of Lord of the Rings Online, some more Run8, maybe do some Railroader. So it'll be something that'll, during that 2 months, if I'm not out actually riding the rails, because my son and I were talking about going to Chicago by Amtrak from California. So that's kind of an expensive thing to do, but he's graduating, so I want to do something with my son. And I let him know, and my daughter know too. It's like, listen, you know what? You guys are my kids. It's it's time to start doing things together. Let's the divorce really hurt my relationship with my kids. My daughter and I have our best relationship ever when she got away from her mom, and my son is ready to do the same thing. So I want to do something with him, just him and me. Whether maybe not go to Chicago, maybe we'll go to Seattle by rail or do something by train, something that affects my autism. Anyway, I don't know. I'll let you guys know. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you later on. Hopefully, well, next Saturday I'm working and working every Saturday until the end of school. And so Sundays will be the recordings or live streams, depending on what is on my docket. I don't know what next week's going to bring me, except for the massive track meet that we have going on, which is going to be over several days. So I don't know. We'll see. I have to play it kind of by ear. But anyway, I'll catch you later. Once again, this is Lazy Farmer. My name is Kurt H. Have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share videos out with anybody that likes looking for a virtual model railroad or a casual place to play. We're here to help. Have a good one, guys.